Gaurang Shah here from Geojit. So I think after close to 11,800, we've seen a downside on the market with profit booking and correction. More importantly, on two accounts, the new set of rules and guidelines that have been put aside by SEBI with respect to margin, pledge, repledge, BTST, STVT, adjustment not allowed for securities sold and securities to be bought, etc. So you've seen a little bit of thin volume, and secondly, more importantly, the tension on the northeast border of Ladakh between India and China, as all of us know, has been getting uglier because of the misadventures by the Chinese PLA troops. Yesterday we had the statement made by the Minister of External Affairs, and day before also there were statements made. I think there is a little bit of concern, and on the fallback of this, we've seen a weak rupee against the dollar, along with some weakness in the market. Overall, the backdrop of uncertainty definitely there. There is no denying. My understanding was that maybe 11,350, 11,400 could be the lower level, but we've breached that, and we are trading closer to 11,220, 11,230 as I speak to you on the Nifty spot I'm talking about. And the rupee has also weakened to 73.70 as I speak to you. Now, given the events in the backdrop, I cannot rule out further correction, but I maintain my stance that this is a buy on dips market, especially for those value investors from a long-term point of view. There are plenty of opportunities out there in the market. Only request is that you need to be a little bit careful, understand before you make a decision to invest in any company, and ask questions before you invest. So, and of course you have the suggestion made by the KV Kamath panel on various ratios being changed with the respect to change in certain policies and regulations that have been set aside and as recommended by Mr. KV Kamath panel. So there is a little bit of concern on the banking, overall little bit of concern on the market because of this change in regulation for margin, pledge, repledge, and of course the unfortunate misadventures by China on the northeast front. So, but my view, as I mentioned, buy on dips, I think these are some interesting times, and I think the range has become now much larger. 11,150, 11,100 could be the test on the floor on the lower side. And there are a lot of people who are talking about 10,800 also. I am not going over there. I think we have seen correction for the last couple of days. This may get extended for today, tomorrow. But there is concern definitely there, geopolitically, of course, nothing fundamentally. And on the announcement side from the government, I think a couple of policies are much eagerly awaited from the government side, especially with respect to the scrappage policy. I think the sooner it comes, the better it is. And there is concern on the broader market because mid-cap, small-cap is something that is actually being under the pressure much more than your large cap. So this is going to be a market which is going to be testing your patience. Short to medium term, like I mentioned last week also, I think it is prudent to take money off the table. If you're still in the money, please try to book as much as profit as possible. And for value investors, I have mentioned a couple of sectors. One sector that stands aside yesterday also was IT and pharma. Please keep these two sectors in focus because in times of uncertainty, IT and pharma is something that acts as a safe haven investment. And even otherwise also fundamentally, these two sectors, I've been talking about it for a pretty long time and I remain extremely positive on IT and pharma. The pressure on the market can get extended by the time we wind up the trade. So just be careful, short-term, term on mid-term players, intraday players. There could be a little bit of concern. On the long side, couple of stock ideas, and one company that I spoke about in the pharma pack is a mid-cap company or a small-cap company, whichever, Granules India. Just keep your eyes over here. I think there is the day before yesterday it rallied fantastically. If you do get opportunities on the lower side in the pharma pack, Granules India is one stock that you can look at, and I have been talking about Tata Consumer, earlier known as Tata Global Beverages. This is also something that you should keep your eyes on. These are investment calls, not intraday BTST, STBT or short-term, medium-term. Fundamentally, I think these two companies' investment ideas, as people ask me a lot, Granules India from the pharma and Tata Consumers from the FMCG part. Rupee, I think we may see it going get weakened to 74, but I don't think there can be a long-lasted weakness on the rupee front against the dollar. And crude oil, as I mentioned, now that the hurricane stroke, typhoon stroke, natural disaster is done and dusted with the American seacoast, we've seen that crude oil has eased off, and this is what exactly I mentioned even last time, that the bump up in the crude oil is only because of this natural event which is likely to take place, and once it goes through, surpasses without any significant damage, we are likely to see crude oil even correct further. So I'm not worried about crude oil. The only thing is rupee dollar equation and the overall scenario on the market. But like I mentioned, this is a buy on dips market, and one should definitely approach the market with some fundamentally strong stocks to look at. Take care, thank you, and see you again next week. Bye-bye.